College English Test Band 4, Part 2, Listening Comprehension, Section A, Directions. In this section, you will hear 3 news reports. At the end of each news report, you will hear 2 or 3 questions. Both the news report and the questions will be spoken only once. After you hear a question, you must choose the best answer from the 4 choices marked A, B, C, and D. Then mark the corresponding letter on answer sheet 1 with a single line through the center.
News Report 1. New York City Police captured a cow on the loose in Prospect Park on Tuesday after the animal became an attraction for tourists while walking along the streets and enjoying the park facilities. The confused creature and camera-holding humans stared at each other through a fence for several minutes. At other times, the cow wandered around the 526-acre park and the artificial grass field normally used for human sporting events. Officers used soccer goals to fence the animal in. However, the cow then moved through one of the nets, knocking down a police officer in the process. Police eventually trapped the cow between 2 vehicles parked on either side of a baseball field's bench area. An officer then shot an arrow to put it to sleep. Then officers waited for the drug to take effect. After it fell asleep, they loaded the cow into a horse trailer. It was not clear where the cow came from or how it got lost. Police turned it over to the Animal Control Department after they caught it.
Questions 1 and 2 are based on the news report you have just heard. Question 1. What happened in New York's Prospect Park on Tuesday? Question 2. What do we learn about the cow from the end of the news report? News Report 2. Starting April 28th of this year, the National Museum of Natural History will begin renovating its fossil hall. The fossil hall, which displays some of the world's oldest and largest fossil specimens, receives more than 2 million visitors each year. It's one of the museum's most famous attractions. As a result, the museum plans to expand the hall as well as add to its ancient bird collection. Bird lovers, both young and old, have already responded with excitement at the news. The museum's social media account has been flooded with messages of support. In the meantime, the current collection will be closed. However, visitors will be compensated during the closure. The museum's special exhibition area will now be free of charge. This week, the resident exhibition is a display of ancient wall paintings on loan from Australia. They celebrate the cultural heritage of the country and will be available to view until Sunday. Next week, the exhibition will be taken over by the Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition. The winner of this year's competition will be awarded a preview of the new fossil hall as well as a cash prize.
Questions 3 and 4 are based on the news report you have just heard. Question 3. What does the news report say about the fossil hall of the National Museum of Natural History? Question 4. What is on display this week in the museum's resident exhibition hall? News Report 3. 6 birds have just been trained to pick up rubbish at a French historical theme park. According to the park's manager, Mr. Villiers, the goal is not just to clear up the park. He says visitors are already good at keeping things clean. Instead, he wants to show that nature itself can teach us to take care of the environment. He says that rooks, the chosen birds, are considered to be particularly intelligent. In the right circumstances, they even like to communicate with humans and establish a relationship through play. The birds will be encouraged to clean the park through the use of a small box that delivers a small amount of bird food each time the rook deposits a cigarette end or a small piece of rubbish. So far, visitors to the theme park have been excited to see the birds in action. However, some parents are concerned that it encourages their children to drop litter so they can watch the birds pick it up. Villiers is not concerned about this criticism. He maintains most of the feedback he has received has been overwhelmingly positive. He hopes now to train more birds.
Questions 5 to 7 are based on the news report you have just heard. Question 5. What have 6 birds been trained to do at a French historical theme park? Question 6. Why were rooks chosen by the park manager? Question 7. What is the concern of some parents? Section B. Directions. In this section you'll hear 2 long conversations. At the end of each conversation you'll hear 4 questions. Both the conversation and the questions will be spoken only once. After you hear a question, you must choose the best answer from the 4 choices marked A, B, C, and D. Then mark the corresponding letter on answer sheet 1 with a single line through the center. Conversation 1.
The name of the TV show we wish to produce is Science Nation.
Please tell us more. What will Science Nation be about?
It'll be about science, all sorts of science. Each episode will focus on a different area of science and tell us what we know, how we know it, and what we still don't know. The show will have one host only, and this will be Professor Susan Powell from Harvard University. She's a great public speaker.
So, just to be clear, will the show's format be like that of a documentary?
Kind of. It'll be like a documentary in the sense that it'll be nonfiction and fact-based. However, our idea is for it to be also fun and entertaining, something which traditional documentaries aren't so much. Please keep in mind this will be a new TV show like nothing ever done before.
Okay, so it'll be both educational and entertaining. And your audience will be anyone interested in science, right?
That's correct, yes.
Right, thank you. So I think we're more or less clear on what the show will be like. Could you please tell us now what exactly you want from us?
Yes, of course. Basically, what we need from you is financial support. In order to go ahead with this idea, we need $2 million. This would cover the cost of making all 12 shows in the first season for the first year. If the show is a success, we can then look at making a second season for the following year.
Questions 8 to 11 are based on the conversation you have just heard. Question 8. What do we learn about the TV show Science Nation? Question 9. In what way will the TV show Science Nation differ from traditional documentaries? Question 10. Who will be the intended audience of the TV show Science Nation? Question 11. What does the woman want the man to do for the TV show? Conversation 2.
What's up with you? You don't look very happy.
I feel like I'm a failure. I can't seem to do anything very well.
I wouldn't say that. You do very well in a lot of things. That presentation you gave last week was excellent.
Yes, but I have this urge to strive for perfection. I really want to push harder and progress further.
Well, that's very admirable, but be careful. Over-concern with being perfect can damage our confidence if we never achieve it.
Yes, I know. I feel awful whenever I make a mistake in whatever I'm trying to do.
Well, think about it. You can't make progress without making mistakes and learning from them. Thomas Edison, the famous inventor, once said, "I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work."
You may well be right. I guess I should recognize my mistakes and learn the lesson they teach me and move forward.
Also, remember, a successful ending is not the only thing worthy of a celebration. You need to recognize each step of progress you take towards achieving your goals, and no matter how tiny it is, it's still good news.
I always feel down when I see others accomplishing things, and I feel miserable about my own achievements. I'm always trying to be as good as others, but I never seem to get there.
Listen, if you always compare yourself with others, you'll never feel good enough. You're the only person you should be comparing yourself with. When you compare your current status with the starting point, you'll find you've made progress, right? That's good enough.
That's great advice. Thank you. I'm feeling better already.
Questions 12 to 15 are based on the conversation you have just heard. Question 12. How does a man feel about himself? Question 13. What does the woman think is the man's problem? Question 14. How does the man feel when he sees others accomplishing things? Question 15. What does the woman suggest the man do?